Okay, welcome back. All right, I'm gonna just wait until everyone gathers, and then we're going to resume our discussion regarding the novel. All right, so before anything, are you guys able to hear me?
Yes.
Okay, so let's just brainstorm together. Nano, let's just take it one step at a time. What do you remember? How did this whole issues? What caused a problem? Number one, how were the poor treated? What's the main roots of all this revolution? What is the main roots?
They worked in poor conditions.
Okay, so here we have the poor people in Russia. Worked in
poor conditions and rat infested companies وكده.
Good, rat infested.
Their children were not educated and they didn't have like healthcare أعتقد.
Okay, so another thing, child labor. Okay, child labor was a big issue, right? Why? Because again, here we see youngsters were working.
Miss, can I ask a question?
Sure.
What did Lenin do? Because I don't understand.
We're gonna discuss that in a second. I'm taking it one step at a time with you, and we're gonna basically memorize it by sequence. Okay.
Okay.
So the poor people in Russia were working in poor conditions in rat-infested factories. The children were working and not attending school, which is unfair. Okay. We also said that they were working for long hours. Okay, about 14 to 18 hours a day.
Yes. And probably underpaid.
They were definitely underpaid. They were getting very low wages. All right, and this is what underpaid is. Good job. Yes?
Miss, can you please post the book cover?
Excuse me?
Can you please post the book cover of the novel?
Yes, of course, love. I will.
Thank you.
Sure. Sure. Okay, so anything else that we could think of?
And Miss, will you post the PDF?
I did already. It's in the Animal Farm folder. In the book, the entire PDF is on SMS.
And the government.
Okay, go ahead, Nano.
The government were like profiting off people's low wages. Yani they were not giving them money.
Not the government, but who? Business owners and landlords. Okay, so here we see business. Exactly, business owners and landlords. Okay, that are owners of businesses. Basically, were the ones that were getting the benefiting. Okay, they got all the benefits. They got them. They pocketed all the profits. All right, and again, the poor were left with nothing. All right, so these were the conditions in Russia. Now, during this time that everything was happening, during all this, negativity, who ruled Russia during all this time of negativity? Go ahead, Judy.
Czar.
Czar who? Czar what?
I don't know Czar.
Tsar Nicholas II. Okay? Tsar Nicholas II ruled Russia during that time, and nothing happened. He wasn't working to help the poor. He just watched the rich get richer. Okay? So he wasn't helping. The rich was getting. Say it again. He wasn't fair. Okay?
Yes.
He was not a just ruler. That's correct. All right? Now the poor people are fed up. Who helps the poor? Who comes up with a plan? Who comes up with a plan on how to govern society? Who?
Mark.
Yes, say it again. Someone said Mark. Karl?
It's me, but I can't remember.
Who?
Karl Marx.
Exactly. Who said that?
Me, Hannah Hamdi.
Good job, honey. This is him. Karl Marx. All right. And he comes up with the idea that we call Marxism. We call it what? Marxism.
Marxism.
Okay, so
Yes, but what
exactly. He,
is it? Marxism or communism?
yes.
Like it has
Okay.
two names?
Isn't
It's communism, yes, but again, his philosophy is named after him, Marxism. But the title of the philosophy itself is communism. All right. So Marxism is leading to communism. All right, but they follow the name of Marxism. So if you ever hear the word Marxism, it's pointing to what? Pointing to
Karl Marx.
communism. Communism. All right.
Isn't
What did he
communism
write? Say it again, Judy.
Isn't communism a belief?
Yes, it's a political system and it's a belief, it's a conviction on how to run a society. Yes, it's not a religious belief though. It's not like Judaism, like Jewish, like Bruno and Shmuel. All right, this is a religious belief. This is a political belief. Okay, we have different beliefs. This one here is a political belief on how to run a society. Okay, so what did he write? What did we say that he wrote? What was the document that he wrote? The manifesto of the Communist Party. So what did he come up with? The manifesto of the Communist Party. All right. And what idea did he have? Or what was his idea? He had the idea of communism. And what does communism deliver? Or what does communism guarantee? It guarantees equality between all citizens. Everyone gets what they need. No social division. Okay, there's no social division. All right, there's no social class. If you guys look at the PowerPoint, we said that the society back then was divided into the bourgeois or the aristocrats, the very wealthy, and the very poor. Okay, the peasants and so on. Okay, so no social divisions, no wealthy, okay, and no peasant. Okay, there's no social division. Why? Because there is economic equality. Because there is economic equality, that means everyone gets all the goods, and the wealth of the country is divided equally amongst its nation, all right, or its citizens. This is his plan. And what did he encourage the poor to do? What did he encourage the poor workers to do, Ali?
He encouraged them to revolt.
Good job. All right. He encouraged them to revolt. And to revolt means to make their sounds, their voices heard through a revolution. Okay. Now, people, the followers of Marx or Karl Marx, what were they called?
Miss, I have a question.
Yes.
Which people are the communists? Which people are the كده?
The socialists are mild. They wanted communism, but they were willing to take it one step at a time. Okay, gradually. They were calm.
They weren't with any of the Marx and these people.
They believed in communism. They believed in Marxism and communism. Yes, they were followers of Karl Marx, but they believed in mild steps. Okay, it's like when you have extremists. You know what an extremist is? Someone who wants to get everything done fast and very devoted, very hot, tempered. Okay, so we have extremists. The extremists were the communists, the Bolshevik Party. All right, so here if you look, the Bolshevik Party were the extremist group. Okay, and they created a political party called the Bolshevik Party. Okay, so again, the followers of Marx were divided into two groups. Okay, the first group were the socialists, and they're the calm and mild group. Okay, very peaceful. All right, and then they were the extremists. Okay, the extreme group, which called themselves they created a political party called the Bolshevik Party. Okay, they created a political party called the Bolshevik Party, and it was led by who? Who was the leader of the Bolshevik Party? Vladimir Lenin. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, and he led the
this party يعني طب
Yes, the Bolshevik extreme party.
يعني
Yes,
was
he led.
was he like a bad guy كده
Not a bad guy, but he just really wanted communism to go into act. Okay, he
okay.
really wanted communism to take action, and he wanted Russia to become a communist nation. All right, and of course we know that Marx dies. Okay, and Vladimir Lenin follows the steps of actually reinforcing or following and he carries on the revolution. All right, so Lenin, after Marx's death, or Karl Marx's death, what does he do? They begin a revolution, and he takes the leading role in the revolution. Okay, so again, Lenin starts the revolution, which is the Russian Revolution, and takes the leading role in it. Now, what happens to Tsar Nicholas? What happens to Tsar Nicholas? Hannah. He is? Say it again.
He is لا أنا مش عارفة لا
He's
I don't know
overthrown.
like that's something
Is he still in charge of Russia? Or
No.
does he leave the throne?
He leaves
he
the
leaves
throne.
the throne.
Exactly. Remember, he was a dictator. Okay, not a good thing. All right,
هو
he's
Russia was
overthrown.
هو Russia was ruled by a king ساعتها
By Tsar Nicholas, yes.
a king
Okay.
يعني ولا he was a governor عادي
He was a dictator, not a king, but a dictatorship. Okay.
Miss,
He's
may I ask
overthrown.
something?
Yes, of course, Reem.
What's the meaning of يعني a communist country?
A communist country is a country that has no social class. Everyone is supposed to be treated equally. They believe in equality, okay? And they believe that everyone should get a fair share of the wealth of a nation. Okay? That no one is poor, no one is rich. We are all equal. Okay, but of course, this system is a belief. All right, this is a perfect world that they imagined, that they envisioned. But the reality of it, that it never really happened. Because again, why? Because when you give too much power to someone and you trust them to perform or to carry on equality, it doesn't happen this way. And this is what we're going to see in Animal Farm. Okay, and this is a proven fact because after Lenin's death, we saw two people come up and fight for the Soviet Union. So let's just take it one step at a time. Tsar Nicholas, do you understand, first of all, what does it mean for a nation to be a communist nation?
Yes.
Okay, good. All right. Now, Tsar Nicholas is overthrown, and he and his family are executed. Okay, and we know that executed means to be killed. Okay, executed. All right, and here now we see that Lenin takes control. Okay, takes control of Russia. And what does he do with Russia? What does he change it to? He changes its name to what? What does he name it, Nano?
The
Soviet Union?
Yes, he calls it the Soviet Union. All right, this is some of the history, all right, in order, okay? Now, Lenin dies, all right? Lenin doesn't live forever. Of course, he dies. And after Lenin dies, when Lenin dies, what happens to Russia? Now Russia, or the Soviet Union, let's say, the Soviet Union is up for grabs. Okay, what does it mean to be up for grabs? Anyone can, no control. No one is taking control of it. So who fights for power? Who fights to take over the Soviet Union or Russia? Two people. Who are they?
Trotsky and someone else. مش فاكرة مين.
And Stalin. Stalin and Trotsky.
Trotsky.
Okay, those two people. Who wins?
Trotsky.
Good job. Now Trotsky becomes the new ruler of the Soviet Union. And what happens to poor Stalin?
He gets
He got
banished.
Banished.
So, Miss, I have a question.
Mm-hmm.
Who are the bad guys? Who are the good guys? Yeah.
Well, you never know who's the good guy and who's the bad guy because
guys.
everybody has intentions. But we are going to see the whole purpose or the whole point of Animal Farm is to see this person right here. Trotsky. He's the key.
Miss, is
Why?
he a commun?
Yes. What was he supposed to carry out?
communism?
Hannah, I don't know why your internet is very cutting up, honey. I can't understand what you're saying.
Communism.
What was he supposed to carry out? Hannah, can you try
Communism.
again, baby? Good job. He's supposed to carry out communism, which is another form of equality.
Equality.
Does he do that?
No.
No. Given too much power, what does he do? He starts to take advantage of the citizens and murdering them. Okay. Having his secret police and, just a whole bunch of things that we're going to discuss and see in the novel of how bad Trotsky takes advantage of the nation and the people. So instead of carrying out the system of equality, he carried out a system of total misbehavior. Okay, mistreatments. He began brutal killings, killing the citizens, making sure that everyone listened to him. He started to rule through fear. Fear means people were afraid of him instead of anything. Excuse me. Okay, so any questions about these notes? I want you guys to take them. I'm gonna post them for you also to understand them. All right. Any questions about the political history? Everyone understands it now, bit by piece.
Yes.
Any questions? Any concerns?
Did Lenin start the revolution because of equality? He wants.
Yes, Lenin definitely was a very strong, firm believer of Karl Marx's idea of equality and the utopia or the paradise vision of how everyone should be treated equally and how everyone should be fairly treated and a world with no social class and no social division. This is what his aim was. Okay, but of course he dies, unfortunately, and we see the battle for control and authority and leadership breaks between Stalin and Trotsky. Trotsky is a very manipulative man. He is able to control by banishing Stalin, and he takes control. And then he begins the brutal killings of Soviet citizens. All right, he killed approximately 20 million citizens. So that's a big number of his people. All right, so he's killing his own people in the name of equality. And of course, this is not what he was here to serve. All right, and this is what George Orwell does. All right, he is through being a satire, he is making fun or criticizing or pointing out the flaws in the system of communism led by Trotsky. Okay, everyone understands?
Yes,
So why does it say
I can't hear you.
Why does it say Trotsky
Can you hear me?
Are you guys able to hear Hannah, guys?
No, she's lagging.
Yeah, Hannah, you're cutting up really bad, honey. No, can you please type your question?
Okay.
Okay, so we're gonna
Miss
stop
Ahmed.
sharing. Yes, Yusuf?
Miss, why did Trotsky kill his citizens?
Because he wanted to benefit from everything. He wanted everything to be for his own good and his own good only. And this is what happens when people get too much power. And one of the themes, and it's very important to look at the themes of the story, language is a powerful tool. All right. He used to manipulate people through language by confusing them. All right. Again, freedom. he took away their individual freedom and their dignity. All right. Again, he dominated them through fear and weakness. All right. This is what he did. All right. He made people very afraid of him, and through fear, he dominated them, and they became very weak. Okay. Power corrupts. All right. When you give a person too much power, it corrupts them. People become corrupt when they're given too much power. You cannot give power to only one person. That's why our governments today, power does not lie only with one person. That's why we have a president, we have a mayor, we have a governor. Power is divided amongst many. Okay, and that's why power, when it's given to one person, it corrupts them. Okay, and these are the themes. The themes here again: freedom and individual dignity. Okay, people should be very careful, because language is a very important tool, and through language, people can be manipulated or taken advantage of or confused, especially if they're not educated. And this is what Trotsky did. He kept people very naive and uneducated. All right, and again, he made people afraid through fear. He dominated them through fear. Okay, and this is what he did to take control of the Soviet Union and to benefit, and people were left with nothing. Okay, and this is the problem with this scenario that we provided. Now, Animal Farm. Okay, if you guys look, you guys will see that. Yes, a question. Reem, you have a question?
Yes. Miss, هو the PowerPoint on SMS?
Yes.
Okay.
The introduction PowerPoint is on SMS. The PDF file, also the historical context sheet is also on PDF, and I'm going to post the PowerPoint once I'm done. And the Animal Farm PDF is also on SMS. Okay, so if we, you're welcome, baby. Okay, so if we look here, okay, 1 second. And I'm going to post this video. I post the videos right after class. I hope you guys see them. By the title English Grade 8, February 3rd. Okay, by the date. You guys can always see the session by the date. Okay, on your channel. To watch them again, if you have any questions regarding what we did. Okay, if you need to hear the explanations again, to hear the videos again and watch the videos again, look at the notes and so on. All right, so if we look at the PDF, at the actual Animal Farm PDF, okay, it's you know, remember guys, this is a very short novel. We should be able to finish it fast. Okay, I'm gonna finish it this you know, not this term, throughout the year. Okay, so let's look here. Okay, this is the novel. I'm going to here. Okay, so this is the beginning. I'm going to read with you. Mr. Jones of the Manor Farm. Okay, the setting of the story, very important in your notes to write down that the setting of the story does not take place in Russia. All right, this is one of the tricks that George Orwell does. He makes a fantasy world of in England. We are actually in England, not in Russia. So remember, the story takes place in England. However, everything that's happening is actually supposed to depict the Russian Revolution. However, in the story, we're not in Russia, we're in England. Okay, this is his way of, you know, causing a little bit of diversion. All right. So the setting of the story is the Manor Farm. This is the name of the farm. It's called the Manor Farm. And the owner of the farm is Mr. Jones. All right. So the Manor Farm is resembling what? Is resembling which country? Who could tell me? Hannah.
England.
No, in the story, it's in England. Judy, which country is it resembling?
Sorry, Russia.
It's resembling Russia. Okay. All right. So another word for the manor farm is according in our minds. Whenever we hear the Manor Farm, we're hearing Russia. Who is the owner of Russia in the beginning of everything? Who? Who was the owner of the manor farm? Mr. Jones. So who's Mr. Jones from political history? Maya.
Tsar.
Say it again.
Tsar Nicholas II.
Tsar Nicholas II. Bravo. Okay, we're getting there, guys. We're getting there. Okay, we're getting there. Okay, so Tsar Nicholas II is our Mr. Jones. Okay, so again, this is very good that we're starting to grasp onto the material. Okay, so again, the manor farm is located in England in the story. But whenever we think of the manor farm is allegory or symbolic to Russia. The manor farm is owned by Mr. Jones, and Mr. Jones is symbolic or allegory for Tsar Nicholas II. Okay, it was Tsar Nicholas II a good ruler for Russia? Yes or no?
No.
No. So do you think that Mr. Jones is going to be a good, responsible owner for the farm?
No.
Who is the farm occupied with? Who's the farm occupied with?
Animals.
Animals. And who are the animals resembling or allegory to?
The Russian citizens.
Russian citizens. Bravo, Maya. Bravo. Okay. So again here, again, where's Maya? Maya? Okay, so again,
Yes.
the Russian citizens or the animals living in the farm are symbolic to the Russian citizens. So let's talk about Mr. Jones. Mr. Jones of the manor farm had locked the hen houses for the night, but was too drunk to remember to shut the pop holes. With the ring of light from his lantern dancing from side to side, he lurched across the yard, kicked off his boots at the back door, and drew himself a last glass of beer from the barrel in the seltzery, and made his way up to bed, where Mrs. Jones was already snoring. So what kind of owner is he for the farm? Is he a responsible one or a careless one? And if so, how could you tell? Reem,
A careless one.
how could you tell? What is your evidence for his carelessness?
Because when he said that he's too drunk to remember to shut the pop holes.
Good, he's a drunk. Okay, he's a drunk. Drunk means careless. He's not in his right mind. All right. He closed the lock the hands, but he forgot to shut the pop holes. All right. So here we see that he's not taking farm work very seriously, and he couldn't care less. He just wants to drink and to sleep. Okay, so everyone understands so far what kind of resemblance between Mr. Jones and Tsar Nicholas. We see a resemblance that they're both careless leaders that do not care about the well-being of their citizens. Mr. Jones doesn't care about his animals the same way that Tsar Nicholas didn't care about his poor citizens. Does everyone understand this?
So Tsar Nicholas was an alcoholic?
No, guys, remember this is an allegory. Not everything here is depicted in real life. This is just symbolic. How are you going to show that Mr. Jones is careless? By making him a drunk. Does that mean that Tsar Nicholas was a drunk? Absolutely not. Okay, but we're showing the carelessness in two different ways. Okay, here again, it's through the metaphorical meaning of owning a farm. Okay. Did Tsar Nicholas forget to shut down the pop holes? No. Okay, but again, this is showing that Mr. Jones was a drunk man, a drunk owner of the farm that didn't care about the well-being of his animals, and that basically didn't take responsibility of his animals because he's a drunk. All right. As soon as the light in the bedroom went out, there was a stirring and fluttering all through the farm buildings. So the animals are not asleep. As soon as they made sure that Mr. Jones is sleeping, they started to talk. All right. Word had gone around during the day that old Major, the prize middle white boar, had had a strange dream on the previous night and wished to communicate it to the other animals. So a boar is another word for an old pig. Okay, you guys need to be aware of these animal names. All right. So old Major had a dream and he wishes to meet with the animals so that he can tell them about his dream. Who do you think Old Major is from history? Judy. Judy?
Karl Marx.
Good job. Perfect. Good girl. Old Major is Karl Marx. He is the one that had the vision for communism, the vision for equality. Okay, so Old Major here is our Karl Marx. He's the one that says, hey guys, I have a vision, I have a dream. Okay, I want this society, I want Russia to be a communist nation. All right, and Old Major is Karl Marx. He's the one that's going to gather up all the animals at night and meet with them to communicate his wish, his dream of turning Manor Farm into a communist, and a communist farm. Okay, it had been agreed that they should all meet in the big barn as soon as Mr. Jones was safely out of the way. So they're going to make sure that Mr. Jones is dead asleep, and they're going to meet in the big barn. Old Major, so he was always called, though the name under which he had been exhibited was Willingdon Beauty. All right, so they called him the Willingdon Beauty, and Willingdon is the area or the neighborhood next to the farm. Was so highly regarded. That means he was very respected. And of course, this is how Karl Marx was. He was respected by a lot of followers on the farm, and everyone was quite ready to lose an hour's sleep in order to hear what he had to say. So everyone in Russia respected Karl Marx, and he had a lot of supporters, from the socialists to the Bolshevik Party. They all valued Karl Marx and his manifesto of communism. Same way, all the animals in Manor Farm are willing to lose an hour of sleep just to gather in the big barn to hear what Old Major has to say. So here, Old Major is respected as an animal, as an old pig, and the same way that Karl Marx was respected as a thinker and a philosopher. Okay? At one end of the big barn, on a sort of raised platform, so he was sitting on a raised platform, which shows that he is superior, he's higher. Okay, Old Major was already ensconced on his bed of straw under a lantern which hung from a beam. So the spotlight is on him. There's a lantern or light above him, and the light is shining on him. Okay, again, it's showing how respectful and how highly thought of he is. He was 12 years old. Remember, 12 years old in animal life is old, and had lately grown rather stout or chunky, fat. But he was still a majestic looking pig. Okay, majestic, magical. He's amazing. With a wise,
Is he being sarcastic, Yani?
No, this is why sarcastic. This is actually a true description of Old Major. Okay, they're describing him as a pig who is wise and benevolent. Wise means he is a thinker, like Karl Marx was a wise philosopher, and he is benevolent. Benevolent means he's kind. All right.
يعني the choice of animal يعني is weird.
No, pigs in this novel are actually the smartest, which is ironic. Which is ironic, Nano. You're absolutely correct. Because whenever we think of pigs, we think of messy, disgusting animals that are, we can use them as messy. But here they're used as actually smart. And again, there's a significance to that. This is ironic that here pigs are actually smart. Okay, so this is irony. Good. All right. So again, he was a majestic looking pig, wise and benevolent in appearance, in spite of the fact that his tushes had never been cut. Before long, the other animals began to arrive, okay, for the meeting and make themselves comfortable after their different fashions. First came the three dogs, okay, Bluebell, Jessie, and Pincher. And then the pigs, who settled down in the straw immediately in front of the platform. Very important to know the sequence of where each animal sits, because it tells you the importance of them. The pigs sit in the front row. which shows that they are going to be the leaders, or it's foreshadowing that they're the ones that are going to lead or be potential leaders for the farm. Okay? The hens perched themselves on the windowsills, and the pigeons fluttered up to the rafters. The sheep and the cows lay down behind the pigs and began to chew the cud. The two horses, Boxer and Clover, are horses. Names are very important, by the way. If you go on SMS, you guys are going to see, I'm going to show you right now, you guys are going to see a character tracking sheet. A character tracking sheet. If you guys open it, it looks like this. Okay, you're going to write down the name of the character and the characteristics that are given. Here you have direct characterization. The author tells you how each character is thought of and their qualities and their flaws, if they have any. So character track is very important because you're going to be confused without it. Write down the old major is a boar, okay, an old pig. How is he described? We know that he represents Karl Marx.
Karl Marx.
Okay, how is he described? He is described as wise, benevolent.
He's full of something you say.
Majestic. Okay. He was called what? The Willingdon? The Willingdon Beauty? Yes or no?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, he was called the Willingdon Beauty. He is highly regarded. Highly regarded or highly respected by all the animals in the farm. And he is old. He is 12 years old. All right. And he has a vision. And we know that he has a vision. All right. Or a dream that he wants to communicate with the other animals. Okay, so this is what you need to be doing. The next animal that we meet is who? Who did we meet so far? We also met Bluebell, Jessie, and Pincher. They are dogs and they're important. Jessie, Bluebell, and Pincher. Okay, we know that they are. Can't hear you.
They're dogs.
They're dogs. Okay, then we see the other animals which are very important that come later. The pigs, we know that they come and they sit in the front row, foreshadowing their importance, and they are going to be potential leaders of the farm. Then we see comes in the horses, Boxer and Clover. Very important. Okay, Boxer and Clover, we know that they are the horses. They're going to be described through their actions. Let's say how they come. They come in together, walking very slowly and setting down their vast hairy hoofs with great care, lest there should be some small animal concealed in the straw. Okay, so how are they coming in? They have big hoofs, and they know that there could be small animals that are in the straw that they can't see. So they're walking or they're being very careful not to hurt any small animal. So what kind of characteristic do these horses have?
The Trotsky and Stalin?
No. Remember, the pigs are the leaders. So horses are not going to be leaders. So Trotsky and Lenin and Stalin, they have to be pigs. I told you this. Okay, the pigs sitting in the front row, what does it foreshadow? It foreshadows that they are going to be potential leaders. Guys, your homework is to read chapter 1 and 2. Next week, we're going to go over it. We're going to discuss it together, and we're going to analyze it and break it down into detail. The study guide for chapter 1 and 2 is posted along with vocab words that you need to finish by next Wednesday. So good luck with the reading. Take it easy until we meet again next Wednesday to analyze it even further. Okay?
So did we finish